Hey YouTube, Big Hoss 762 here. I just got in from FedEx today a brand new Becker knife and tool BK4. So thought I'd come out here and play with it a little bit. Unfortunately, the only spot I could find is out of any substantial wood to chop. So we're pretty much gonna have to stick to small sapling type stuff. So anyway, we'll play around with it a little bit and see how it does. Alrighty, so this is one of the more substantial pieces that's left in this campsite. So let's try limbing this thing with this BK4. Does pretty good. This is fresh out of the box. I have not sharpened it or done anything with it. Let's try get around here where you can see. Not bad. Takes care of that pretty well. Well, doggone it, apparently I wasn't recording any of that. So let's go ahead and do some more. So I just tried my hand at batoning. Apparently I didn't have the camera on, so that's unfortunate. But again, this is not very substantial wood, so it's not going to pose much of a challenge, but we'll do it anyway, just for the sake of doing it. Now, the only problem with this is because of this large belly, if you're batoning back here, the belly's going to go into your whatever you're batoning against before the wood's all the way split, depending on what you're splitting. If it's really dry and seasoned, then it might just pop right open. But the belly might give you a little bit of an issue. So anyway, let's bring it in. So do the standard tent stake here. rid of this little juncture. Oops. So, this is all stuff I found off of a slash pile here at this campsite. But still pretty fresh. A little sticky with sap and everything, so. But. Keep freaking getting out of camera here. So, then we come down here a little ways. Let's find a nice spot there. I think that would work. Let's try some feather stick action. Well, I can definitely make shavings with it. When I'm making feather sticks, I generally find it's easier to get a longer stick, brace it against something else, and then I can use both hands to control it. But, I mean, I can do some feathering with this just fine. I think I can get a fire starter with this eventually. So anyway, this is the BK4. You know, pretty good knife. Right now you can find them for, I think they're about $60 or $65. So that's a pretty good buy considering the BK9 is about $80. So, rumor is that these don't sell very well, that they might be getting discontinued soon. So I figured, oh, what the heck, I can afford it. I'll grab one just to see what the hype is about. You know, if I had to choose between this and the BK9, I'd probably go with the BK9 only because, like the belly here, as I mentioned, it makes batoning a little bit more difficult because your belly is going to hit your chopping block, your stump, whatever, before you're all the way through your wood. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to split. Maybe not difficult, but at least a little more time consuming because then you got to stop, pull the logs apart and everything. And also it's going to be a little bit more difficult to sharpen. BK9's a little easier to sharpen. And you don't have, you know, the knife blade itself is going to be hitting the whatever you're cutting on. You know, you got your handle coming down first and everything. So, you know, you got to watch that. BK9, you know, your edge. And my knuckles stick out a little bit farther than my edge, but it's a, you know, it's a lot closer. So, but, oh, they're both really good. I mean, if you can afford both, you know, go ahead. But, I don't know. I'm going to have to stick with the King on this one. You know, BK9, you can't not have a 9. But BK4 is really good too. So, you know, it's definitely a good tool. So, gotta wear some of the new off of this thing. Anyway, this is more of a desktop style shot, but it's actually the hood of my truck. I didn't feel like setting up over by that chopping stump and getting a close-in shot. So, anyway, so yeah, once again, BK4, obviously kukri inspired. You know, this is an Ontario kukri machete, and you know, not a traditional kukri, but obviously it's shaped a lot more like one, and you can see a little bit of an angle to the handle, a little bit of an angle on the handle here compared to the blade, but then the blade's got this big angle swoop in it. So the overall shape of this is similar to a traditional kukri. So, and then here you can see the BK4. Not really comparing these two. These are two very different knives. This is obviously much bigger, so it's gonna chop and do everything, or at least chop and split a lot better. But just kind of showing the shape of it. BK4's got this straight, mostly straight spine. There's a little bit of a hump right here, but I mean, you know, straight spine with just a little bit of an angle of the handle. Whereas most kukri type knives are going to have a big swoop in the spine as well as the blade, excuse me. So there's that. Here's a close-in shot. Overall, just a little bit shorter on the 4, maybe an inch overall length. But as you can see, it you know, as far as spine to your overall height, this is going to be taller. So, you know, this is all straight in a line. It's a, you know, more traditional overall knife. And so, you know, just some weight. I don't know what the exact weight is. I think the 4 is just a touch lighter. Not enough to make me concerned, but yeah, it is a little bit lighter. 4 is a little bit lighter. Noticeably lighter in my hand, but I keep getting out of frame. I'm sorry. But yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's a deal breaker either way, as far as the weight goes. But yeah, just buy a Becker, any Becker. Go ahead and buy them all, collect them all. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully in the future I'll get to do a little bit more playing with this, but right now there's just no wood to really chop on. I mean, I could do some more whittling and stuff, but I mean, that's not really what this knife's for. So just a quick first impressions video. Very nice knife. You know, it's the same 1095 CV as all the other Becker knives. Very good steel. As you can see, this knife, I've stripped the coating off. Yeah, no rust issues or anything like that. After I stripped the coating off this knife, I completely submerged it. There was a tree in the river at a swimming hole. I chopped it out of there, stuck it back in the sheath. I never oil this thing. I never do anything to it except sharpen it when it gets dull. And that's it. And I've never had any rust issues. I mean, your mileage may vary. I mean, I don't know what your climate's like. I'm in a pretty arid spot, but still no issues. Obviously, I don't clean it. So the 1095 CV, very nice steel. Yeah, so definitely, if this is a knife you're considering, definitely go ahead and pick it up. No need to worry about any inherent issues with it, really. So yeah, there it is, just a quick first impressions. Hopefully I'll do a little bit more with it in the future. So, thanks for watching. Just in case you haven't seen the sheath, Basically the same as all the other Becker knives, except for because the handle is cocked, you know, you got this little D-ring swivel thing so that you can snap in the handle. I would have preferred something here that went around some part of the handle or something, and then leave this part free to swivel, maybe something across here. Although I don't know if that would work, but obviously this is not going to retain upside down, but it does have the MOLLE compatible back, holes for leg tie, whatever. It's a little difficult to snap in. I've noticed you got to have the handle all the way to one side, and then it takes a little finagling, but yeah, you got to have it all the way cocked over in the sheath to get this to close. But there you go, it closes. That's not going to come out once it's in there like that, but you know, there's enough, it's snug enough that if I were carrying it vertically, handle up, you know, in this position like this is on your belt, I wouldn't worry too much about it falling out like that, unless you take a spill or something, you fall over or something like that. But you know, it's just your standard Cordura sheath. I'm not a fan of the style, but you know, that's what you get. It's decent quality, not going to fall apart on you. You have this nice pouch here. You can put a sharpening stone in there, and then also there's a little extra plastic insert. Not sure if that's showing up on camera, but there's a plastic insert. Years ago, they used to ship with Chinese-made BK13 knives. They would fit in there nicely. I think the 14s fit in there all right. The 14, 11, 24s, they can fit in there, I think. But you can put a little companion knife in there if you wanted to. Also, the knife is popular enough that there's a lot of guys on the internet that will make Kydex sheaths. You don't have to send the knife in. They have them. They can whip them up for you. They have knives to mold off of. So, if you're like me, you're not excited about the idea of shipping a knife. You can get a quality Kydex sheath for it without having to send the knife off. You know, they're common enough. They're popular enough that guys have these in their shops to make molds off of. So, anyway, there you go. BK4. Like I said, they're running about $60, $65 shipped. I got mine off of Amazon with the Prime shipping, you know. But there's lots of places that have them. So if you're interested, yeah, go ahead and pick it up. Really good blade.